Okay, so I've had an issue with my front end since I bought the car. My driver's side wheel has been slowly pushed towards the driver, and I'm really hoping that it's a bent control arm. So I picked up these lower control arms for like $200 off eBay. They're not my #1 choice, but they're cheap and I'm broke right now, so fuck it, I guess we'll use it. They're pretty nice actually. They have adjustable ends with 2.5-inch adjustment for camber, and this is the bump stop for your lower control arm for where your tie rod will hit. And these plates, you can actually dial them down to whatever angle you have if you have angle mods. Like I have the tie rod spacers. So I'll probably push these back to the max because we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're hopefully going to be throwing these on today. Alright, so we're in the process right now of taking off these lower control arms. But while we're at it, we're going to be deleting the front sway bar because my car only has a KA24DE in it, so it's low horsepower. So I've been reading that with low horsepower cars it's easy to take off the front sway bar, and then it makes it a little bit more tail happy. So we'll see how it goes. So the control arms are in. They're probably extended about 1.5 to 1.7 inches. The new tension rods went in fairly easy. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's pretty much just 2-3 bolts you gotta do and they're all in. With the extension of it, I'm running into one issue that I have way too much negative camber. It's probably at like -8 or -9. So I'm gonna have to dial it back a bit. Also, there's another issue that I encountered. My tie rods are slightly too short for this, even though they're the ISR tie rods. My one solution is I got offset rack spacers, so I'll be able to space out the steering rack a little bit more, which will make it a tiny bit longer for better adjustment, and it'll also push my tie rods forward a little bit, so I'll have more room for angle and stuff once I mod my knuckles. And also my other plan is I'm just going to dial back the extended tie rods probably about just to an inch, so it gives me some more room for dialing in my alignment and whatnot. Before, my wheel was hitting the inside of my fender here, or well, actually not the fender but the whole wheel well itself, and it was wearing down. But with the new control arms in, it's finally clearing, so I'll show that to you right now. Before, when I would turn full left, probably right about here, it would lock up and it would smack up against my wheel well, but now it can actually do full lock without anything hitting, no clearance issues at all, so I'm pretty happy. I mean, they're eBay, so they might break, but for now, it does the trick. One other thing we also did was we sprayed the intake tube, so it's starting to look a little bit cleaner in here. Also fixed my injector, so we're running on all 4 cylinders now. There's a slight misfire, so I'm going to have to check my timing. That's what I think is the culprit, but I'm not too sure. And one final thing is I'd like to get like a black coupler because I'm not a big fan of this red, and then I'm going to do the valve cover gasket because as you can see it is nasty. It's pretty grimy. The paint is just flaking off because the previous owner decided to spray it but they didn't sand it or anything, so now it's my problem.